Greetings, everyone. This is me, Zara Berserk. I'm going to continue from my previous live stream on Surah Azab verses 36 to 37 and have a look at this. This is where things went wrong for me. I doubted Islam. So I have some problems here, but against all odds, that movie song, Against All Odds by Phil Collins. I have to go on in the morning also, afternoon problems. And so hope a reminder that we are here for the truth, justice, save lives and not religions. And please, this could be very dangerous for your soul also, like intellectually, uh, for the Shias to help them find something else or leave this religion. It is my duty to do this, and it is your duty to make the decision, not my duty, right? However, even I feel if you say all religions were harmful and all this, I feel that Islam has been very harmful for society, individual and people. It doesn't reform, and you can't like even say anything against the messenger, right? So, however, there's a verse which says you cannot hurt Allah. Here, it's blasphemy in Islam if you say anything against the messenger or Allah. But there is a verse that says you cannot hurt Allah. They cannot hurt Allah. It's in Al Imran verse 176. And let not those who grieve you, who fall into unbelief hastily, like the Prophet, grieve the Prophet, I think. Surely they can do no harm to Allah at all. Allah intends that He should not give them any portion in the hereafter, and they shall have a grievous chastisement. Let me see, I was searching, so any other verses? Surely Allah is not in need of any of His creations. So you actually, He's needless, and you cannot hurt Allah in any way. So saying anything against Allah in Islam also, there should be no punishment. We should find reformative ways for criminals and all that, instead of those barbaric punishments, like if they do mischief on land, then cut off their opposite sides of the limbs, the condition is there, and expel them or do this. I think if I wish I was normal. There's a lot of negativity coming, and watching, feeling. I wish I could do this. That only send love, even to my enemies. Like not if I was not purged to fight spiritual warfare, right in Karachi in year 2000, I would. And if my loved ones were not taken away from me, or separated from my loved ones, like we could make such a beautiful, together work things out rather than separate people, unless like my mother wanted to separate me and wanted to separate from her in-laws because my grandmother was wicked. And in my childhood also, she did something to me. But we never killed her or anything. We never went after her for revenge. It's just that we stayed. The most you can, the least or something. The first step is to just, someone who's really harming you, you physically and all that. Even psychological torture, covert narcissists, type symptoms and all, and behavior, you need to separate from them if they don't stop doing this to you. So this, right? And then I watched a video of a Pakistani Britisher raped by her father, and that was to, I disconnected actually, and that was too much. I slept over. Thank God I couldn't listen to the whole video. It was too much for me. And another thing is called Toffer. My brother is well now. That was an old video, a year back or so. Uh, so there's no need to cry for my brother anymore, please. I forgot to say that my brother is well, thank God, and he's much, much better than I am. He can drive a car. He can, come from a long way for me. He helps me if I need him, and so he's well now. He's out of danger. It was some time in last year, but then he came out of danger. Okay, so I hope Kaltoffer is well and all. I was just recently, it's been on me, it's been inside the watching feeling, and very uncomfortable. It's agonizing actually, but I'm going on. In fact, today, right now, I should not have come, but I've come. So this, and then back to enough of my thing. This is it. It goes on. It's life, and I have to manage. In Karachi, when I was in Karachi, it was worse. I was throwing up. Then I left Karachi, and even then I was throwing up when I was living with my relative sister. But slowly, the Hindu mantras helped me, and all. So it doesn't mean that you, by using Hindu mantras, like I went to this Sri Ganpati site, and he's helping humanity. So he was explaining that this is scientific. Om is scientific, and these mantras, you can take them. The beauty about Hinduism is that even in Christianity, it doesn't have that beauty. Like Paramahamsa Vishwananda was saying, that there are many masters, many masters. In fact, he was saying Dalai Lama. I've seen a picture of him with Dalai Lama. So the beauty of Hinduism is that they accept other masters around the world. And it's not written in their book that this is the seal of the prophet. And this is it. And if you annoy him and if you hurt him, then there's a curse on you. It's not like that, right? So, although Paramahamsa Vishwananda, I think, I don't want to quote him much, but that I saw his video, I won't be able to show you. However, from that I gathered that he said that there are many masters. He's had a picture with Dalai Lama. So it's not only one way and one master, or others are all evil demons. This is the beauty of Hinduism. And you don't have to accept them. So you take the mantra as Sri Ganpati explained, and he said he wants to help for humanity's sake of the world, right? You don't even have to become a Hindu to do this. So I used it like you go to a doctor. So I went to a spiritual doctor because my own spiritual doctors in Pakistan were failed to help me, could not help me, even if they tried, and they tried to help me. and they gave me duas and all this. I was reciting. So then I came, I had to come for renewal of my passport to my father's country, and you know, I started to, I could, because there are Hindus there in my father's country, and they have the freedom to practice their religion, and they don't get like attacked, right, in my father's country. So I was quite like, to do this. I can't find the word, free and free of fear. So this, if it doesn't help you, or it doesn't go with you, then you don't have to do it, the Hindu mantra. But I just tried. I was in a very bad, I couldn't stand still. I couldn't sleep still. Even now, it's in the morning, I felt a man under my skin, right? Beard and all this. I was like shocked. I still get shocked, but I carry on. So I had to take, I hope I'm not explaining myself and defending myself to please others, but I'm trying to explain this, that the beauty of Hinduism is that you can even take their mantras and experiment with it, experiment with their meditation. It's not like my way or the highway, or you are all demons. Only Jesus Christ or Prophet Muhammad or these prophets or messiahs are the only truth here. Jesus Christ, Christian, Catholics, I've done research on the saints, exorcism prayer. I asked my friend Jude if he said, no, the priest cannot help you like this. In Karachi, I had a Christian brother friend, so he said, no, they cannot help you like this. But one of another Christian lady we knew in Karachi, she brought her group of people and her husband was there. They did a prayer on me, and they even gave me the water from Lourdes, Our Lady of Lourdes. Someone had brought it. So these Christians in Karachi, they were very, not that rich, had this group that they were going to, whoever needed them, they would go to their house and pray for their own Christians. But once I was in dire need, so she said, okay, I'll help you. I asked her, not that she zabardasti forcefully brought someone. But I'm much grateful for that. However, the Hinduism, you can either take it or leave it, and they will not harm you, or they will not put blasphemy laws on, or punishments on you, laws on you, impose. So you don't have to follow the Hindus, even though do their mantras. If you don't like it, quietly walk away, right? And this, you can walk away, or you can even, wherever the guru is from and you feel that spiritually he is doing bad to you, you can complain against him. Because this is very serious, to harm people spiritually also and intellectually also. So then what happened is I followed Sri Ravi Shankarji, and he even went to Karbala, Imam Hussain Ziyarat shrine, right? He went to Imam Hussein's shrine. So I kept a watch on him, and he was saying, I needed someone to say, don't worry, give your worries to me, like that, because I didn't have any strength to for even to thank him. Like there was such a bad energy pulling me down. I was like, sorry, I can't. I could at least say, sorry, I don't think I can thank you. And if I go against you, because there's always this energy making me go against people. It's like inside, I couldn't even speak. So I was throwing up and not able to speak. So Sri Sri Ravi Shankarji, after following him little bit, and then Sadhguru, like he had a 40-day program, meditation online. I did that for some time. I couldn't do it, or maybe 20 days at the most. I couldn't complete it, I can't complete any routine work. I can't follow it up, right? So little by little, it took a long time. And then I was, this feeling I was getting, it was giving me a lot of torture, like someone is under my skin, like my hands also, when I had a headache, if I touch it, very bad feeling. So I couldn't touch my head. So I started to do a Kalima mantra, and that removed the feeling of shame, guilt, and under my skin someone is, like it was so much torture that under my skin there's a strange entity, and I couldn't touch myself. But I had to at times, like, scratch or touch my skin, head, if it was hurting. I couldn't touch myself without being tortured, right? So there's, even now it's there, but I start the Kalima mantra and it goes away. So Jai Kalima and all this. People have asked me if I'm a Hindu and all this. I say, no, I'm not a Hindu because I haven't studied Hinduism. Sorry, Sudesh Yadav, I don't understand this language here. What are you trying to say? I don't know how to read, right? What is this? Okay, please can you write in Urdu, Sudesh Yadav? Please don't waste my time. I don't know how to read this. Please, I would appreciate it if you would write in Urdu, English. Sudesh Yadav. Salam. Asalahaddin. May you have happiness forever and ever. Thank you very much. Same to you. Lamborder says, hi, Zahra. Hi, Zahra. Hi, Lamborder. Thank you for being here. Oh, God. So please don't kill people because of a religion or an ideology or a God you have to defend. God is there for everyone. God even gave Pharaoh time. Such a tyrant of his time. Not that I believe in that, but his pyramids are there, and all. I think they've been misunderstood. He wasn't a tyrant, but anyways, through the Quran ayats, as we are told. So now we go to. Sorry, Sudesh Yadav. Please, I request you to write it in English. I don't know Hindi. I'm not an Indian, right? And I haven't learned Urdu, my mother tongue, Pakistani, to read and write. I'm an illiterate. You know what that means? I'm an illiterate in Urdu. So it is not for a believing man or a believing woman when Allah and His Messenger have decided a matter that they should thereafter have any choice about their affair. And whoever disobeys Allah and His Messenger has certainly strayed into clear error. I have to use the context here about Zainab bin Josh, according to the Shia tradition, that she was forced into marriage. So going to multilingual Quran, hope you bear patiently with me here and appreciate it. I have to do lots of things, but I can't. I'm compelled to do this. As I wake up, I haven't even got enough food, but you see, I have to do this. I haven't even made food for myself, prepared it. Anyways, I'll just have sandwiches and what is left over. Some chicken is left over. So here we are told, so this is, I found out that he's a shaitan and Allah is shaitan too. So I want to help my fellow human beings to get out of this religion. I don't mean harm to them. That would be against what I'm doing, totally against what I'm doing. But to talk against religion, and sorry if it hurts your feelings, right? But it shouldn't hurt your feelings. Or an ideology against an ideology should not hurt your feelings. Because this was for everyone, not only for you. So that would be your ego has been hurt. And we're looking for universal truth. Universal truth can come without being imposed on others. Okay? Now what our Shias, like when I looked at myself and I read this verse and I read commentaries, I felt that we felt sorry for Imam Hussein when he's not entirely innocent, neither is his grandfather, because they have put punishments on others while they were living. While Prophet Muhammad was alive, they expelled the Jews, assassination happened, okay, you punished them, you expelled them, the people of Yathrib, when they became Muslims and then left Islam and opposed Allah and His Messenger. And the context goes, but I could not read the context. Because you see, when it says we did it, we terrorized them, Allah terrorized them in the right way, it was that there I can, I hope I can explain myself, that I cannot give, that there is no, what do you call it, why I couldn't go for the context there in Surah Hashr ayats, for Surah Hashr ayats, although I did, but why I wouldn't take the context? Because their lives were shattered, expelled. So, and I had to see how much of the thing is that some ayats also say fight in Surah Tawbah ayat, and houses were broken. So in my Shia Islam, as a Shia, I could not accept that houses were broken. Although some Shias do, I don't stand for all Shias, because they are Shias, so they accept the whole of the Quran. But here, because there was an act which was terrorizing against the disbelievers, and I don't believe that a disbeliever should be terrorized. Then when Imam Hussein went in Karbala and said that my grandfather's religion, I haven't stood up for rebellion, I've stood up to get a reform. It's to take my grandfather's religion, to defend it, or what did he say, against, Yazid had taken the allegiance, and they were for a caliphate, right? Yazid had taken the caliphate, and Imam Hussein said, I have gotten up for peace and to protect this religion of my grandfather. But that his grandfather was not entirely Muslim, right? His grandfather was not entirely Muslim. Masum meaning they had given it, there are strict punishments for saying anything against Prophet Muhammad, hurting him, Surah Azab ayats. His grandfather was not completely innocent. And they had taken, it was not you who killed them. It was Allah who killed them. They had taken their revenge. And they call it justice. So, this, I feel that somewhere we've gone wrong, and so that's why we've had this, that we have to take such strict, because we've haven't it somewhere like Jiddu Krishnamurti when I was reading his book, somewhere we have gone wrong. So now it is, of course, would you, like something happens to me and the question arises that would you not want your rapist, psychic rapist, to be hung upside down and this, that, you know. But when you have love, and I do get into the mind gets me. But when I'm sitting here, once in a while, if it opens, I say, no. That strength you get, that strength, if you have it, you're the luckiest person. You're free. In calamity and in, like the Quran ayat says, if you can't get out of it, patience and prayer, right? Determination. Patience and prayer. Like Hazrat Yaqub said, patience is becoming fitting for me. So here we have a Surah 33 verse 36, where is it? 36. It is not fitting for a believer, man or woman, when a matter has been decided by Allah and His Messenger, to have any option about their decision. If anyone disobeys Allah and His Messenger, he is indeed on a clearly wrong path. Refer to the commentary. So any questions now about the not saving lives, and if we can say anything against religion with proper evidence, right? And so even if someone doesn't and burns Qurans and all this, it doesn't hurt the truth. It doesn't hurt the religion. Like there were Pakistanis who spread rumors against Shias. It doesn't hurt our religion. They're spreading rumors against us, Shias. We used to take it, but it doesn't hurt the true Islam, right? That we felt and believed we followed. Any questions on what I've said? Save lives, not religions, not ideologies, and choose humanity. And I can show you and assure you through these ayats that this religion is false and that doesn't save. In fact, it creates one of the greatest, harm to humanity. This religion, Christians have reformed, Jews have reformed and gone forward. They don't kill anymore for religion. But the Muslims need to reform, and they don't. Only the Ismailis have reformed. Salah ad-Din says, sorry, you can't make it seem the rape victim is attacking her rapist when she is defending herself. This is what is when you pick on some verses when it is just responding to great evil. Sorry, Saladdin, I don't understand what you're trying to say. Which verse are you referring to? This is forced marriage. I went to rape, then I corrected myself on my previous live stream. This is forced marriage. And the captive slave girls, that is rape against the consent, they were given what your right hands possess. They had no consent. So we need to see that these laws are redundant, make them redundant now. They don't make sense. These are 1400 years ago, or even in Judaism, they say that when you have war, it was to discourage war, that you would take their wives, then cut off their hair, and there were conditions to it, 1 month wait, or even here there could be a condition, 3 months idda, to find out that the woman is not pregnant. It's okay. But the thing is, no, it is not okay anymore. You see, Islam doesn't make sense at all to me anymore about these things. Captives, taking slave girls as captives. So yes, Jawaria, Safiya bint Huway, without their consent. So we see here, this is a major ayat here against Zainab bin Josh, that she was forced. And it's a forced marriage, which didn't even succeed. So you put a believer in misery, as it says in the commentary section here. So that's why I had to start with forced marriages. And there's a US law. In some states, forced marriages are seen as a crime, right? So I contemplated on that. In some cases where even the marriage fails, shouldn't it be in this case where the marriage has failed? Even Rasulullah, who sends, like now when we get married, what happens to the Muslims, Shias, Sunnis? Blessings of Rasulullah, Allah and Rasulullah are sent. Salli ala Muhammad, salawat bar Muhammad. But here it failed, and this is about forced marriages. Zainab bin Josh was forced, as you can see here. Refer to the commentary. Okay, where do I start? Of the surah about Zainab and the Holy Prophet. Zaid's marriage with the Holy Prophet's cousin Zainab, daughter of Josh, was celebrated in Makkah 8 years before the Hijrah. At the time of their marriage, when she was informed by the Holy Prophet, she did not like the proposal. She did not like the proposal. So her brother, Abdullah bin Josh, and both of them, according to Imam Muhammad bin Ali al-Baqir, wanted to exercise their freedom of choice in this matter when this verse was revealed. When this verse was revealed, that it is not fitting for a believer, man or woman, when a matter has been decided by Allah and His Messenger, to have any option about their decision. If anyone disobeys Allah and His Messenger, he is indeed on a clearly wrong path. What do you say about this? Forced marriage. So here, if the consent was not considered, but totally that Allah and His Messenger, you have to obey, against your own consent for marriage with Zaid. Can you rule out the fact that what your right hands possess, your slave girls, could be raped? Can you rule that out? So I don't know where you come from, but you know this is universal. I mean, it's about international cases, right? Internationally, laws made. Why do they? I don't know if you are into justice case or a law commission. Like I wanted to go to the which department in Pakistan? The law commission department. What do you call it? Justice, and the lawmakers to take this inheritance case and say that we need changes in this inheritance case, reform, or change the law. So I don't know where you're coming from. Are you coming from a 1400 years old rape and this and that. Victim is attacking her rapist. And when she is defending herself, that is what is. It has nothing to do with rape. Of course, you can, out of defense, you can even kill someone. Of course. This, I'm not talking, what are you talking about here? Right? Sorry. You've gone out of the topic. You're always giving me a hard time here going out of the topic. And you, this salam and happiness and this and that is just a taqiyya, it seems from you. You have a Pakistani mentality on this, Islam. You have a backward mentality. And what are you telling me? Sorry, you can't make it seem the rape victim is attacking a rapist. I don't understand your English, sorry. You have to rephrase this. Sorry, I'm going to now time you out. Salahuddin, you can't do this here. Remain on the topic. You're coming from, I don't know where your mind is, where you're coming from, sorry. And then you are distracting me here. Because it's as it is very difficult for me to explain. They're attacking me here psychically. Maybe Pakistan, from Pakistan here. Sorry, what are you trying to say? Oh, and I have to be so understanding towards you. Take the time. Because you see, I don't understand. I also have a cognitive dissonance. I don't understand how you Muslims can defend this religion. When this case is about forced marriage. And the marriage didn't even succeed. Zainab was miserable, we are told here. So this verse was revealed. Where am I now? We must not put our own wisdom in competition with Allah's wisdom. You see, you're forcing Zainab bin Josh to marry Zaid. What wisdom of Allah? What wisdom? What wisdom? That you will see, now it's made easy for the believers to marry the adopted son's ex-wives? This is the wisdom of Allah. And that she now gets to go to Prophet Muhammad. And if you see your weak hadith, Ahle hadith, Allah makes hearts turn. So Prophet Muhammad went to Zainab's house. If you see the Sunni hadith, which now they deny, they say we don't believe in these hadiths. Before that, we never heard them say that. Although, I don't know. But there's a hadith which says, when he visited Zainab, Zaid, he saw her in a very transparent dress or something, short dress or something. And he said, glory be to the one who makes hearts turn. It's in your hadith, Salahuddin. Brother, I'm really sorry. It is not about what your ego wants to believe in. It's about justice. So please don't do this. Okay? False story. Yes, but it is in the hadith. And even if it is zaif or a tafsir, it is there. How can you say it's false? You see, it is not about what you say. It is about seeping through the eyes and finding out that that could be a true story. That could be a true story because we have Surah Azab, ayat 52. that even if the beauty of those women attract you, we stick to the Quran only. Well, if you stick to the Quran only your way, I'm sorry, I can't accept you here. I've explained my research way, and if then you go to the Quran only, this is not the right way. After the divorce, Zainab's misery as a widow began to disturb the family of Banu Hashim. If you stick to the Quran only, there are contradictions in the Quran, and it could be other than Allah, from other than Allah. I don't believe hearsay from thousands of years. Then this Quran is also hearsay from thousands of years, because it doesn't have the seal of Prophet Muhammad. Even if he couldn't write, at least God could have put a seal of Prophet Muhammad. There's no seal on this Quran. How do you know it is from Prophet Muhammad? Ahle Hadith. Huh? At least the seal from Adam to Prophet Muhammad, Allah's seal. Every time, the angels, there's so much. At least a seal, like David, Hazrat Dawood had a seal, right? What was his seal? The Star of David and things like that. At least there could have been a seal put here, a stamp on this Quran. They used stamps, they used words, they used leaf for writing. Another thing is that the Quran itself says if you find contradictions in what you say, I cannot take what you say and what you believe in about the Quran only to be true. And how you think and what you give me. This is the Pakistani style. If I sit with an Arab, like I was on Facebook, I called out to the Muslim leaders and I said we should have this discussion. King Abdullah, when King Abdullah was alive of Saudi Arabia, right? Sunni Shias should have a discussion on the table, round table or something, round table conference. And then I saw that the site was being made, and there was a thing for discussion in the Muslim world. We could have discussions about our religion. So, are you sent by Saudi Arabia? If I give reason and give Quran ayats, I don't think Saudi Arabia even can go against me on this. I wonder why you are going against me by, all this way you're using, the way you're using things, exploiting. Zainab's parents. So after the divorce, Zainab's misery as a widow began to disturb the family of Banu Hashim. Before that, before even marrying Zaid, she was a widow and she thought she was highborn. She wasn't miserable at all. And not only so, in this case, being forced to marry Zaid, it's a forced marriage. It is not right. International law will say this is not right. US law will say this is not right. In fact, I appeal to my government, UAE. What will you do? So if you're standing for UAE, you better come up with better reasoning power here and stick to the Quran rules. Since you say we stick to the Quran only, Now you're saying we stick to the Quran only. Where have you stuck to the Quran only? When I give you the Quran only and I have established, proven from the Quran only that there are discrepancies in the Quran ayats, then you say we go to the hadith, you don't read that context. So you are contradicting yourself. Right? Can you see that now you have contradicted yourself? False story. Salahuddin says we stick to the Quran only. When I was sticking to the Quran only, and through the Quran only showing, proving that there are contradictions in the Quran, you said you are not reading in context Surah Ashar ayats. You are not reading in context Surah Mujadila ayat 2 against Surah Azab ayat, that wives of the Prophet are the mothers of the believers. Then you say you go to the context, you're not taking the context. I'm an Ahle Hadith, you told me long time ago. You came here in my previous live stream some time ago, meaning, So you see, you're not sticking to your, since I can also not, there are times when I cannot believe in the hadiths, when the Quran only has failed. Contradictions, if you find much contradictions in the Quran, it should be from other than Allah. We have to stick. I have been telling you stick to the Quran ayat only. As I show you about the contradictions when only with Quran, not the hadith. You say no, you are not reading this in context, and it's not how it's how we take. You have to go to the hadith, you have to go to the tafsir, or even you would say what? But you said you have to go to the tafsir, you have to read the Quran ayats in context, how we take a prophet, how are we told to take the prophet's wives as mothers of the believers. So you have contradicted yourself and you don't see this. There's a lot at stake. Because you see here in the Muslim world, in Pakistan and everywhere, a Christian and someone was killed because he removed the sticker of, the Arabic ayats from his office walls. They had put sticker, someone else, on his office, like glass walls that, separate his office from the other rest of the offices, or he was burnt. Now I'm appealing to United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia. Leaders have appealed to, muftis. If Pakistan won't listen and do what they think is right about this religion, like you are doing here, I've even gone to the police here. And when they asked me about my religion, I said, I don't have a religion. What are you going to do? They let me go. Who are you? I invite the Sheikh, President of UAE. Who are you? I give you importance here. I listen to you. You keep contradicting yourself against me. Even reason you don't use. I showed you that ayat in the Quran, that God would put abomination on you if you don't use reason. You'd have departed from the Quran, saying that I should not only use the Quran ayats but read in context. Now you say this is a false story. You know this is a false story. And you know that we should, and who are you representing? Who are you representing? As we stick to the Quran only. All Muslims, no, sorry, you think too much of yourself. You are Ahle Hadith. You are not even representing Shias. So who are you to say we stick to the Quran only? It's a false story and we stick to the Quran only. Even the Shias don't stick to the Quran only, and you also don't stick to the Quran only. You are Ahle Hadith, and you've told me this. Right? Brother, this is a crime you're committing. But I'm not going to punish you for this. Now enough of your contradictions against me. Even Colt Hofer told you that you need to give her some, I'm on the fair justice side. Who are you? I'm from UAE. I've asked them to execute me if I'm wrong in this. Right? I've called out to UAE to execute me. So who are you with your nonsense here? Contradictions, malicious intent. Okay? I call out to the Sharjah Sheikh because my passport is issued in Sharjah to punish me. Execute me, do whatever you like. Because here I am honestly trying to help humanity, do good for them, Muslims, which we stick to the Quran only. Do you represent? Please tell me, which we do you represent? When I say stick to the Quran only, because there are some hadiths we cannot rely upon, you say no. You said no. Now come on, tell me. What do you want here? To distract me? This is not the way. I mean, you are really unjust yourself. So many times I've told you, stick to the Quran. Rule. Don't depart from the Quranic rule. Ayats are there. You tell me I don't read in context. Now I've caught you here. If you have any shame or any integrity, forget shame. I'm giving out reasons through Quran ayats, discrepancy showing, through Quran rule showing. You see, that's why I say I'm mostly stuck on the Quran ayats. And I've shown discrepancies. You say, you depart from the Quran rule, you depart from that verse in the Quran, Surah Nisa ayat 82. This is a crime. You are encouraging crime against reason, reasonable people. What do you call this? Now Zainab's the Holy Prophet tried his best to prevent separation between them, because Zainab's reputation would be ruined. But when she was a widow of a Quraysh, she was not worried about her reputation. Salahuddin, the Quran has the manuscripts. It was written on dating back to thousands of years. Do you know someone said that the hadiths are older than the Quran? And there are different Qurans. Have you heard that? Quran was not written, they say. I'm not sure 100%, but some say the Quran was not even written, but after the hadiths of Prophet Muhammad. But here you have lost. We stick to the Quran only. So when I stick to the Quran only, and still you're going on further saying the Quran has the manuscripts, it was written on dating back to thousands of years. Which manuscript? Give me one manuscript that is there which says that the Quran paper says, the Quran paper and the words written, right? Printed or written, says that it's dated before even the hadiths were dated. And it came from Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad's life is not given in the Quran. His mother is not mentioned in the Quran. What is this? Where are the live chat? Where do you come from, Salahuddin? Who's backing you? If you want to protect your religion like this, in a false manner, contradicting yourself and me and the Quran ayats, this is a crime. You will be allowing in Pakistan, in UAE, in Qatar, in Saudi Arabia, in Iran to kill people on blasphemy against Prophet Muhammad, Allah, against Islam, also blasphemy. And you are doing it in a dodgy manner. Where are the? Let me show you. What I'm going to do is here. Take a screenshot. Why do you want to, in a dodgy manner, defend your religion? Huh? Why? Just a minute, huh? Oh, I'm going to upload this screenshot because the comments are not coming. I've taken screenshots and I'm going to upload it on my Facebook. From another tab, I've taken this screenshot. And I'm going to pause here and then go to Facebook. You see these distractors? Using fallacies method, dodgy methods, having no shame, putting other people's lives at stake. Hello, yes, I'm here. You see what Salahuddin has said here. false story. Hope you can read this. We stick to the Quran only. I don't believe hearsay from thousands of years. The Quran has the manuscript. It was written on dating back to thousands of years. But here he's failed. We stick to the Quran only. I gave him that hadith on against Prophet Muhammad going to Zainab bin Josh's place, Zed's place, when she was married to Zed. And he said, glory be to God who makes hearts turn. And then he says, we stick to the Quran only. So when I was giving him from the Quran ayats, he tells me the discrepancies showing the contradictions in the Quran ayat. He tells me you're not reading it in context. What are you trying to defend? Now he tells me we stick to the Quran only. Dodgy. He's contradicting himself. Political Graph says, what is your topic for today? I've joined a bit late today. The topic is whatever I'm on right now. Like if I'm talking about Salah ad-Din on this religion, it's on that. Whatever at hand is the topic that I am on. So Islam is the topic, that this religion is a very most dangerous religion because it kills people for the ideology against blasphemy against Allah, Prophet Muhammad, Islam. Okay? And I was on Surah Azab verse 36 showing that forced marriages, if forced marriage of Zainab bin Josh against with Zaid is allowed, can we rule out rapists raping the women which they get from war captive women, slave girls, what your right hands possess? Right? Political grasp, do you get it? So whatever at hand is the topic, please stick to that topic. I'm now with Salah ad-Din, as you can see here in the live chat. By context, I meant the verses around the discussed verse, so no contradiction. So you can have no contradiction by using your tafsirs in the Quran, where you see contradictions. Like Lamborder asked me recently in a live stream that the Muslims say if there are two contradictory ayats, at least he accepted that if there were two contradictory ayats in the Quran, some Muslims say we take the later one, we take the later ayat without the context. But the context says, where in the Quran does it say take the later ayat if there are contradictory ayats? This I pointed out to Lamborder. You see, the reason why I cannot believe in the context, here again you are putting in a fallacy, contradiction. By context I meant the verse around the discussed verse, so no contradiction. Well, then the context explains that there is no contradiction. Allah has made, you can't go around like that. Blaming polytheists for bringing in false gods, worshipping false gods, blaming breaking houses, Surah Hashr ayats, expelling people of Yathrib, saying in the Quran, there's an ayat, if you find much contradiction in the Quran, then what happens? It would have been other than Allah. It doesn't say, go read the context. The Quran ayat doesn't say, go read these Quran ayats in context, and you will see that there will be no contradiction in the Quran ayats. Does it say that? What your ulamas, what the tafsir experts, researchers have sought out, it doesn't say that in the Quran itself. Ayah 2, Surah 2, verse 106 could speak about taking the later verses. Then I would say, let me check this. Abrogating. Does it say about for whatever verse we might abrogate or consign to oblivion, we bring a better one or like of it? This is about cancelling a previous verse. It doesn't say about contradiction, sorry. If there are contradictions in the Quran, this could be a better verse coming, but not contradiction. Sorry, you fail here. Because the Quran ayat overrides even this verse. If it had to say there, if you see contradiction, it doesn't even say like that. That if you see contradictions in the Quran ayat, get a better verse that cancels that verse. No, it doesn't say it like that. For example, imams, there are no contradictions. First imam will say the same thing as the fifth imam. Fifth imam will say the same thing as the seventh imam of the Shias. There should be no contradiction. My great-great-grandfather said this. But every time there's a new imam coming up, right? And he may make changes, reform. Taking this ayat, he may say, okay, that ayat is abrogated because it was for that time. Now, let's say His Highness Aga Khan III, Ismaili Imam of the Shia Islam, said that now you don't need to veil yourself, headscarf, no more. Because we don't find an ayat which, you see why there's no contradiction in what the Imam said. Because the Quran says this, okay, now I say no, the Quran only says that the women of Prophet Muhammad should go in hijab or khamar, and the believing women should wear scarves. But then the abrogation will be useless, which the ayah denies. No, abrogation will not be useless. Abrogation will not be useless. You see, the abrogation will not be useless. Why should the abrogation be useless? A rule came out to do hijab, and then a rule came out by the Imam to not do hijab. In the Quran ayats, there are no contradiction on that. If the Quran ayat said, and there's no reason for this, the abrogation will be useless, which the ayat denies. No, it's totally abrogated. The ayat of the hijab by the Imam, later Imam. Now the Imam can use this ayat, yes, to abrogate certain ayats in the Quran. Later Imams, up to date, bring Islam up to date. What is the reason of the abrogation from this ayah? To bring a better verse, not to contradict a law. On one hand, you tell the disbelievers not to do this. It's a false statement. It's this. On the other hand, it's not like that you're telling the believers that you can have mothers. It's not a rule put on one party of disbelievers or disbelievers, and then bring your a rule which says you can do this, have mothers, call prophets wives mothers. You see, that in that there's fallacy, there's a contradiction. So where are you going? Please, brother, can you tell me who you stand for? Pakistan? Because your thinking is your reasoning here, the points you're bringing out is totally contradictory and doesn't make sense. In every way, you're failing to establish your point with evidence. Where are you coming from? Iran? Where are you coming from? Please tell me, where are you coming from? Saudi Arabia? You said you came from Saudi Arabia. You are from Saudi Arabia. So Zainab bin Josh becomes miserable. And even according to the Shia's best efforts put by the Holy Prophet, the marriage fails. So that now I can go to Surah Azab, back to Surah Azab, verse 36 and 37, show you the Shia commentaries. Forced marriage, it is a crime done in this case. In this case, forced marriage is a crime. Let's say your parents tell you, as a Muslim, what is the reason of the abrogation from this ayah? So your parents tell you, back to the forced marriage, arranged marriage. Let's say you don't want to marry someone. Arranged marriage is different from forced marriage. Your parents tell you, please meet this person. We are chaperones. They can, in Islam we're allowed Shias. I don't know about the Sunnis, that the boy can come to the house with parents chaperoning. You can meet them. Elder sister can be there. Brother can be there. And you can even if the parents are not there, there's someone from the family. He can even look at your hair. You can take the hijab off like that, to see that he likes you, your looks also. But that should be done in front of the parents. I'm not too sure about that, but I think they say it's okay. Political graph says, I don't understand this abrogation principle, a contradiction in Quran. Does it mean Allah was wrong first time? No, it means that he's bringing better ayats. As we go along the way through the modern times, things change. So the beauty, of this is Allah. Does it mean Allah was wrong first time? You see, in the Bible also, what happens? Does it say that Allah was wrong by sending so many prophets until he sends a Messiah? And he says he's the Son of God, now he has to take all your sins away by sacrificing his life. Does it mean Allah was wrong first time? No, it doesn't mean that Allah was wrong the first time. But for me, I think, I'm not giving my personal opinion. I'm giving the reason that we think Allah gave for this abrogation, bringing a better ayat. Okay, I have to read his comment properly, completely. Does it mean Allah was wrong first time and then Allah corrects himself and give modified ayat of Quran? How can Allah do wrong? You see, like in the Bible, we're told that this was a very he was jealous, don't worship anyone, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. So I can explain it through this monotheistic religion. Like we used to say that the Old Testament has such an angry God. Wrath of God will descend on you. And he sent so many prophets. Finally he decided that he's going to send his son. So I can give this to the Christians and they can use it positively. That no, Then we protect the Old Testament. Like someone asked me, isn't the Old Testament God in London angry and all this? I said, no, it's just that you see through my religious ayats that Allah makes a better. Every hour, like in a surah, which is it? Every hour is better than the one that proceeds, and thy Lord will soon give thee, and thou shalt be well pleased. Surah Dhuha ayat. Is every hour better than the one that has passed by in time? Why does Allah say that also? Right? So I take this abrogation ayat with Surah Dhuha ayat. So answering you, political grasp, what I do, where's it? I have to show. I hope I'm. Sometimes I make mistakes. Sorry. Oh, the comments are not coming here. They're coming here. I hope I've answered your question and I've understood your answer to this, right? I go here and where is it? Firefox. You see, why does it say every hour is better than the one that has gone by? In Surah Dhuha. Huh? Does it mean that the previous hour was bad? Wrong? By the growing brightness and by the night when it stilleth, thy Lord has not forsaken you. And here there are different translations, but the one ayat, here it says, yes, and the hereafter is better for you than the first life. Indeed, what is come will be better for you than what is gone by. Okay, Abul Ala Maududi translation. I don't know which one I was reading, maybe the Ahmadi Quran, but every hour is better for you than the one that has passed by. Here it says, surely the hereafter is better for you than the first. Let's even take this translation, word by word, even the Quran. Wala khairat. Is this the hereafter? So why is the hereafter better than the first life? Or the way I used to read it. Easy, for the sake of, making it easy. Every hour that passed, every hour is better than the one that has passed by. Every hour that comes now is better than the one that has passed by. Right? Like here it says, the hereafter is better than this life. Did Allah make a mistake? No. Right? Political grasp. Did I answer your question well? And understood your question? Sir, did I answer you well? So every prophet coming in every era, yet there came a Messiah, Christ, Son of God. Was God wrong before him, Jesus Christ, that he was sending different prophets? Angry God, and God is jealous. God doesn't want. God is very possessive in the Old Testament. God doesn't want you to follow anyone else. Make an image of him and this, that, like that. So I was seeing if the Quran ayat was going with the Bible. Right? And we have the answer in the Quran ayat about this. Every hour that proceeds is better than the one that has gone by. My Ahmadi Quran translation. And here it says, and the hereafter is better for you than the first life. What if it says to the Christians that the Messiah is better for you than the prophets gone by? Or my righteous servants? Now can you tell me if God is wrong? So in this I defend is when I was a Shia, it all fell into place, perspective. I couldn't be a Christian because I felt my religion was complete. It completed the Old Testament, the New Testament in the way, because of the Messiah sent. Every hour is better than the one that has gone by. Wal akhiratu. So the last hereafter is better than the one. Sorry, did I mispronounce this? So departing from the Ahmadi Quran translation and coming here now, and the hereafter is better for you than the first life. So what does the abrogation verse say? I've studied Bible, so I can't say if there is two abrogation concept like Quran has. Bible has gone through Reformation, but Quran hasn't. Christians clearly reject Old Testament, but Muslims won't. No, Christians don't reject the Old Testament. You have studied the Bible, so are you a Christian? No, I mean, you don't have to be a Christian, but I just want to ask you. You see, I don't want to be rude with you. Sorry. And but the thing is that we're here discussing that all religions have element of danger and misleading people. You see, the Christians don't reject the Old Testament. First of all, this statement of yours is wrong. They say that Christ came to complete the Old Testament. The Messiah has come now. Even the Jews are waiting for the Messiah. Some of those who did not accept Jesus Christ as the Messiah. So sorry, I disagree with you. Christians, I know, and I've also read the Bible long time ago. Christians don't reject the Old Testament. What did Jesus Christ say? Jesus Christ said, I have not come to reject the law, but I've come to fulfill the law. I've come to fulfill. So in his own words, what did he say? Jesus said, I've come to complete what? I've forgotten the complete the law. Oh, see, I'm so used to searching for Quran ayats. Matthew 5:17. Do not think that I have come to abolish law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. So political grasp, you have to correct yourself. Sorry. Please correct yourself. The Christians clearly reject Old Testament. No. The Christians don't, not even clearly. Forget the word clearly that you have put here against the Christians. We don't need any, okay, you made a mistake, you can correct yourself here. And please do. Every time I make a mistake here, I get very, very restless. I have to come back for a little mistake and go on. So please correct yourself. Jesus Christ didn't say reject the law and the prophets. He said, I've come to fulfill the law, complete it. Matthew 5, verse 17. Political grasp. You'll have to correct yourself, please. Do not think that I have come to abolish law or the prophets. No, I'm not Christian, and I've went studied Bible either. I haven't studied Bible either. I'm sharing my experience, what I've heard from Christian friends. They say they don't believe Old Testament. Who said this? Well, they could be, I don't know. No, never could a Christian say this. That's in Matthew. It's in the Gospel. This is the New Testament. Matthew, the Gospel of Christ. The Gospel of Jesus Christ. Matthew. How can some Christians say this? They need to correct themselves. They're misinformed. Wrong, completely. Completely wrong. Now you're saying you haven't studied the Bible. Sorry. What is this? Okay, so thank you. You are not a Christian. Then what are you? And how could you represent Christianity? How can you speak about Christianity and some Christian friends when sorry, don't hearsay, don't go on hearsay, check the Bible. You see, a long time ago I read the Bible. How can I remember this verse from the Bible? You could have misled me into thinking that the Christians reject the Old Testament. If I had not read the Bible, if I had not even remembered this verse, my memory even about the Quran ayats, numbers, is so bad. So please make life easy. Political grasp. I request you to make life easy. Don't make comments like this on hearsay by some Christian friends. You first said, didn't you say here, I don't understand abrogation principle or contradiction in Quran? No. You said here, I've studied Bible. Now you're saying here, no, I'm not Christian and I haven't studied Bible either. Too contradictory. Without the H, I went. I, quotation, VENT, there. I went, studied. Here. Oh, you're saying you haven't studied the Bible. Sorry, I got you wrong. I haven't studied, you haven't put an H there. I haven't studied Bible, so I can't say if there is to abrogation. Oh, okay. You haven't studied the Bible, but you've heard from sorry, both you were right. You haven't studied the Bible. I have studied the Bible, I've read the Bible. And sorry about that, I got you wrong. I thought you were saying here, I have studied the Bible. And here, there, you haven't studied the Bible. Let me see. Yeah. I haven't studied. You have not studied it. The way you put it, I haven't. Okay, I got you now. And I apologize for that. Now I see it, I correct myself. That you said you haven't studied the Bible. And the first time I read that you have studied the Bible. So I apologize. I was wrong. I got you wrong. I read you wrong here. I read you wrong. You haven't studied the Bible, but you've heard from Christians clearly reject Old Testament. Bible has gone through Reformation, but Quran hasn't. But how can you make a statement like this? And then you say that I've heard from Christian friends. So what are you? Are you a Muslim or a Hindu? Political grasp. What are you? My Christian friends may have lied to me. Oh, let me check him again. I've dozen of Muslim and Christian friends. For me, Christianity isn't... No, Christians don't lie. Sorry. Please correct yourself here. Don't put this blame. My Christian friends may have lied to me. Now you're giving a bad name to your Christian friends. Please bring in your Christian friend. Call him. Ask him to come here. I wouldn't allow this on my live chat. Right? Liars. And saying things against Christian friends. Political grasp. I may have to time you out and not allow you again. You seem like a dodgy person. Okay? Are you a Shia? You don't want to see this against Shia Islam. That even the Shias have no regard for Zainab bin Josh, but they cry for Zainab bin Ali. And a forced marriage here. How can the Shia say that Prophet Muhammad was such a great, exalted character that he, even departing from Sunnis, he said that he never made a single mistake in his life, that in Surah Abasa he never frowned. It was a Sahaba who frowned at a blind man. He never did anything wrong. He never faltered. He speaks out of what God tells him, not out of his own desire. He never made a mistake as worth of a dot, a single point. And here we are told in Surah Azab that he made an unintentional mistake. So the Shias are even worse than the Sunnis in this, in honoring the Prophet, saying he never made a single mistake. He was better than the previous prophets. Moses killed a man accidentally, trying to save a fight, stop a fight, right? Sorry, trying to stop a fight, save people from fighting each other. Who are you? Please, about your friends that you've heard, this on social media, if I hadn't caught you, you could spread lies against Christians and say that my friends were lying. How do we believe you? I will share this channel link to my Christian friends and ask him to defend his Christianity from you. Oh, now you want... And what about you saying that my Christian friends may have lied to me? How will he defend himself from you? Not from me. What did I say against the Christians? Huh? Did I bring the point out against Christians, or did you ask me? So by putting it this way, that I will share this channel, yes, do share it and bring the Christian friend whom you've lied against. Makari, deception will not now, yes, bring, in fact, I invite, because you have said here, my Christian friends may have lied to me. You asked me about the Bible, saying that you don't have much knowledge about the Bible. Bring the Christian friend here, whom you put a wrong ilzam against, blame against, saying, my Christian friends, I've taken a screenshot here of this, and let me go see if it works. So even the Shias have misled us about the Prophet not making an error, a slight error even. If this live stream will not be, oh my God. So you want me, you are the one who says that you brought the Bible thing up, distracting me from the topic, and you're saying, no, I'm saying that poor Christian friend of yours that you said may have lied to you, and now you're turning it around a little bit and saying, I will share this channel link to my Christian friends and ask him to defend his Christianity from you. Oh, you've come here to put me in a shock. I've told everything what he said to me. No, I am not Shia either. I just showed you the Bible verse that no Christian believes that the Bible, that what you said here, you yourself have said, and I've taken a screenshot of it. And I'm going to put it on my Facebook also. And I'm going to reveal your dodgy, cunning way of now wanting, you lied. How do I know that that friend is even Christian? Right? Who are you? You're a political grasp. I don't even know your name. I'm more transparent than you are. I can't even find your channel on YouTube. So dodgy people will not be allowed here, but I won't. Don't worry, I'm not going to time you out. I've taken and I've saved your comments here. How do I know, you Muslim liar? I don't understand this abrogation principle on contradiction in Quran. Does it mean Allah was wrong first time, and then Allah corrects himself and give modified ayat of Quran? How can Allah do wrong? So I explained through the monotheistic Christian Old Testament and New Testament that I used to defend the Old Testament when someone asked me in London that the angry God in the Old Testament wasn't a Christian, right? So when I found this ayat of abrogation, it fell into place recently. I would defend Islam with the abrogation ayats that Jesus came to fulfill. What would that mean? To fulfill the law. Political grass says I haven't studied Bible, so I can't say if there is two, okay, I keep misreading it. I haven't studied Bible, so I can't say if there is two abrogation concept like Quran has. Bible has gone through reformation, but Quran hasn't. Christian clearly reject Old Testament, but Muslims won't. Christian clearly reject Old Testament, but Muslims won't. Let me see if it. Look at this is political grasping. He said, I haven't studied Bible, so I can't say if there is two abrogation like the Quran has. Bible has gone through reformation, but Quran hasn't. Christian clearly reject Old Testament, but Muslims won't. Right? Christians clearly, this is political grasping. When I explained the abrogation verse, I cannot go against in Islam, in the Quran. I felt it completed what the Old Testament and the New Testament says. So I explained to you through the monotheistic religions, Old and New Testament, about the abrogation verse in the Quran, because you said, I don't understand the abrogation principle or contradiction in Quran. Does it mean Allah was wrong first time and then Allah corrects himself and give modified ayat of Quran? How can Allah do wrong? So I explained to you even about the Bible. I haven't, without the age, and I went, studied, so I haven't studied Bible. I got this wrong. I thought political grasp is saying, so I apologized. I have studied Bible, so I can say. But he says, I haven't studied Bible, so I can say if there is two, if there is abrogation too, concept like Quran, if there is an abrogation concept like Quran, I explained to you that Messiah came. Could the prophets be wrong? No. The previous prophets in the Old Testament. So it's like that, the abrogation verses in the Quran. Bible has gone through reformation, but Quran hasn't. Christian clearly reject Old Testament, but Muslims won't. So I showed you Matthew, and I told you that no, I had to remember. Thank God I remember that ayat. The verse in the Bible that Jesus, I am protecting the Muslim, the Christian thing too from the verse. I'm just saying the truth from the verses. Now he's going to call a Christian friend. My goodness. This is covert narcissism, gaslighting, and political grasp. You can come here with your dodgy ways. This is like Prophet Muhammad wanting the pagans to fight the Yathrib people, Jews. I've studied Bible, but why did you say this? Christian clearly reject Old Testament. You said it, and I corrected you through a Bible verse in Matthew, the Gospel of Christ, Matthew, the Gospel of Matthew. I corrected you, yet you go on saying, no, I'm not Christian. I asked you if you were Christian, and I haven't studied Bible either. I got you wrong in that. I thought you had studied the Bible. I'm sharing my experience, what I've heard from Christian friends. They say they don't believe Old Testament. They say they don't believe in the Old Testament. I said, how can they not believe in the Old Testament? There's no Christian who would say that they don't believe in the Old Testament. Because Jesus Christ himself in Matthew 5, verse 17 says, do not think that I have come to abolish. Right? Do not think that I have come to abolish law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. You are such a clever, cunning person. My Christian friends may have lied to me. Let me check him again. I've dozens of Muslim and Christian friends. For me, Christianity isn't threat to me, but Islam is. I don't know who you are. You could be giving a bad name now to Hindus. You are a very clever, cunning liar. Dodgy. Political Grasp says, I will share this channel link to my Christian friends and ask him to defend his Christianity from you. I've told everything what he said to me. No, I'm not Shia either. Political Graph says, how can I defend Christianity here? Because I've said I have never studied Bible. But you said that you were talking for the Christians. You said the Christians clearly reject the Old Testament. And I told you otherwise. I remember the verse from Matthew 5:17 verse. Because I said I have never studied Bible. How can I verify? But if you've said you've never studied Bible, then why do you tell me that the Christians clearly reject? You didn't say my Christian friends say. Before that you said you were speaking. Why? How come you were speaking for the Christians without even looking through the Bible verse? Checking the Bible. You've given Christians a bad name. Never would a Christian reject the Old Testament. You said here, because I've said I have never studied Bible, how can I verify whatever you said about Matthew verses is true or wrong? Now I'm showing him the Bible verse. He says that he can, I showed him earlier, when he said clearly Christians reject the Old Testament, he says, how can I verify whatever you said? Verify what? I'm showing you. It is very clear what Jesus Christ has said. Do not think that I have come to abolish law or the prophets, previous ones in the Old Testament, which they are mentioned. And they have a full Bible, the Old Testament and the New Testament together, which I have in Karachi. How can I verify whatever you said about Matthew verses? What did I say? Is true or wrong? You see the gospel truth written. Of course you can verify. Google search. What are you saying? You are making me depart from Shia Islam? Commentaries. Both Sunni Shias believe in forced marriage and they exonerate Prophet Muhammad. Okay? So I'm here talking about forced marriages. And there are some things in my Quran, which when I was a Muslim, says that you look through the previous Bible. The verses go with that. So why have you come here if you are not a Christian, not a Muslim? Why have you come here? And so what Salahuddin said also, false story. We stick to the Quran only. I don't believe hearsay from thousands of years. The Quran has the manuscripts. It was written on dating back to thousands of years. Political grasp came in. What is your topic for today? I explained. I've joined a bit late today. Salahuddin says by context, I meant. So here he says, we stick to the Quran only. I explained to political grasp the topic which is at hand, which I'm discussing with Salahuddin or whenever, whichever topic at that moment is I have brought out, which is now Surah Azab verses against Shias and Sunni Muslim commentaries, tafsirs, hadiths, life of Prophet Muhammad. Salahuddin now says to me, when I go stick to the Quran only, because I have a reason to stick to the Quran ayats only. When it's absolutely necessary, I also go to the context. So I explained all this. You can go back to my live stream. Here, go back. I don't believe hearsay from thousands of years. I said the Quran doesn't have a stamp. How do we know it's from Prophet Muhammad? So the Quran has the manuscript. It was written on dating back to thousands of years. Well, then I said the hadiths were, I heard, I'm not sure about this, but I heard the hadiths were written before the Quran was compiled. So Salahuddin says, no, Quran has manuscripts. It was written on dating back to thousands of years. I said, where? Which page of the Quran says? Well, bring the first Quran and show me scientifically proof. Give me scientific proof here. Go to the website. They must have a website. Muslims are so keen to defend this religion. You must have the original Quran and scientific proof proving that the Quran manuscripts were written on dating back to thousands of years. But it was only 1400,000 years ago when Prophet Muhammad came. By context, I meant the verses around the discussed verse, so no contradiction. So I explained this to Salahuddin, and then here he fails, there's a fallacy, we stick to Quran only. And when I stick to Quran only, he tells me to read in context, when they're about the contradictory ayats. So he's contradicting himself. Look, no harm. I don't want any harm done to Muslims. Their souls, I want to save. Myself also, I'm in a terrible state. But that I departed from Islam. I'm an ex-Muslim. By context, I meant the verses around the discussed verse, so on contradiction. On contradiction verses, whether you find contradictory verses, you depart and you take the later one. So ayah 2, Surah 2 of 106 could speak about taking the later verses, like verses. It's verses. Please spell that properly. Anyways, I get you. Salahuddin says, but then the abrogation will be useless, which the ayat denies. I was explaining that, and he said this about the Imam saying, but not the rule. You see, once you tell the polytheists, from the Quran ayat I find that Surah Mujadila verse 2, that none are your mothers. You see a false statement even. False statement and an abomination, or what is it? An objectionable statement, a false statement. Surah Mujadila ayat 2 compared to Surah Azab ayat, which says that the Prophet's wives are the believers' mothers. Clear contradiction is there. Then Salahuddin says that what they do is they take the abrogation verse to say that take the later one, but I said you can't do that in the rule that you have set for the polytheists. You can't do that. But abrogation verses only say that you bring better, Allah brings better verses and cancels the previous one. What is the reason of the abrogation from this ayah? Now you've gone too far or something. I really don't understand what you are trying to say. What is the reason of the abrogation from this ayah? It is that it is a better ayah. It's just not against the rule given against polytheists or the Jews in the Quran ayat, or the Christians or the Ahl Kitab, both. So the reason being that we bring better ayats, better signs. A sign could be like a Messiah. I had to explain, I had to take the Bible and explain that, right? A sign could be that a better prophet has come. The only way that came in my mind was to say, to give you the example that now a Messiah has come from the Bible, right? Or Surah Dhaha ayat. The hereafter is much better. I mean, the Ahmadi Quran translation is the hour that proceeds is better than the one that has gone by. It's just better. It doesn't say don't believe in the hour to the polytheists. It doesn't say that don't go in the past. I have a law against you polytheists. Why do you say we believe in the hour before? Don't say that. The reason being that only that Quran ayat abrogation Allah brings a better ayat, not a law set against someone and then done wrong, you do, Allah says, I've made, how do you say it? I only can give you examples. Sorry, I cannot explain this right now. The words are not coming to me English properly. But I can tell you that you are wrong here. You see, I have to explain to you that the reason for a better ayat and the cancellation of a previous ayat is that a better ayat has been sent forth. It's not a rule from the Quran ayat saying to the polytheists something and then going and approving it for the Muslims. This is a clear contradiction in the rule given by Allah too in the Quran ayat. This is a clear contradiction and it's unjust. Political grass started to answer me because I gave Salahuddin also. I couldn't think of anything but to give Christian. So bring your, you are right, Salahuddin says. Am I right? I've explained the Quran ayats right? So thank you. Hope I have explained, thank God. So you got it, Salahuddin, this time? About the abrogation ayats and the contradictory ayats. Thank God. Now we can proceed from here. Back to the topic I was on. So you're saying that, can you be clear about this? Now you understand that in abrogation it's different. And in finding contradictory ayats, it's different. It's a rule. Difference in rule. Contradiction in rules set for polytheists and for Muslims, or, like that. So, okay, thank God you got this. I think I need a break. I just woke up and I've been hit by a lot of things, negativity. I'm here saving Muslim souls and intellects also. Shia intellects, bringing them out of the reasoning that the Shia commentaries put, which have discrepancies and contradictions. Thank you so much, Salahuddin. I'm so that you see this. It has really, I appreciate this. I thank God that He made me an instrument, like Saint Francis of Assisi says in his prayer. We should, what we should do. So I take the good. I'm not a Christian, but I just remembered Saint Francis of Assisi's prayer that we be an instrument. We should not, as we are being wronged, but to defend those who are being wronged more. And God make me an instrument of peace, goodwill, saving lives, saving your intellects, saving your proper reasoning, bringing it, correcting how to logically use this. So you see it. Not even departing from Shias now. Imam Ali, Najul Balagha. Okay, Salahuddin, thank you so much. Thank you, God. Thank you, the divine, whoever is responsible, higher power, highest power, who helped me in this. I humbly, wanted to. I care. And so when I see it, you have approved that the logic that I have given is right. Okay, thank you. I will continue later.